Welcome to Stratazine, your one-stop shop for marketing magic and social media mastery. Today we're diving into the wonderful world of Notion, so let's get into it. First off, what is Notion? Well, imagine taking the Notes app on your phone and sending it through Harvard. That is to say, it's a really smart piece of software, and it's honestly pretty easy to use if you can just understand a few basic ideas. It really all boils down to how Notion is organized. It's easy to make different sections for different departments, allowing everyone to have a place to collaborate and work together, but the real magic comes in with the robust database system that allows you to call and link information together between those databases. And the best part is that it's available on your computer, tablet, phone, and even on your web browser. So no matter where you find yourself working, Notion is right there by your side. And with that being said, let's start getting our hands dirty. Now, to clarify, this is not going to be a full in-depth Notion tutorial. That video would be several hours, maybe even a few days long. And frankly, people sell courses about all of that. So let's just keep things simple here, and let's create a simple database to help keep track of our content calendar. So we're gonna start off with creating a page. Now, inside of Notion, whenever you create a page, it's gonna look blank like this. To create a page, you have a couple different options. If you come over here, there's add a page, there's new page, lots of different options. To delete a page, you'll click on these little three dots, and you come over here, click delete. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, we'll move on. Now, for this, we're gonna call this marketing team, and you'll see that that also updates over here. This is gonna act as kind of our dashboard, so we can even call this dashboard here. And we want to start, we're not gonna do a whole lot with this page right now, but we are gonna want to add a content calendar. Now, to add stuff, right / and this will open up a menu here, and you'll see a bunch of different blocks that you can add. We're gonna keep it simple right now, and we're gonna go database. Now in Notion, you have two different kinds of databases. You have an inline database and a full page database. An inline database, it looks like this. It's just right there on the same page. I don't really like this too much for a content calendar. I feel like a content calendar needs to have its own dedicated place. But if you did want to make this a little wider, you can click up here in the top right, click here, click full width, and that will give you a much wider view there. But again, we're not going to be too worried about an inline database. We are going to instead focus on a full page database. Now, when you click on a full page database, it'll open up a brand new page, and you'll see here was our marketing team dashboard. Here's our new page. We'll title this database Content Calendar. Now, on here, we're going to create two different projects, just simple sample little posts, so like a YouTube video and a Facebook post. Okay. Now, we can change the name of all of these properties. So we'll call this one projects. And then tags, we'll talk about tags here in a little bit. But after that, obviously a content calendar, we want to have dates and times. So we're going to click plus, and we're going to start adding properties. Now the properties are going to come over here on the right, and we're going to come down, and we're going to add the date property. So the first one, let's say we want this to be called schedule date. If I could type schedule date, perfect. Okay, and come in here, we'll click here on our box, and then we have our date. Now, obviously we want dates and times, so we can come down here and include time. And then up here, let's say we want this to be posted March 11th at 8 a.m. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Done. Now, something else that's cool is because you can rename these, that means you can add multiple different date properties. So let's call this working dates. And we want to work on this from March 4th to end date and include time, March 8th. And we come into work at 8 a.m. and we want it done Friday at 3 p.m. so we can go home early. Perfect. So now we have our dates all settled out. Let's say we want to know who's in charge of the posts, right? Say we have a team of multiple people. We can add the person tag, and we can name this PIC for person in charge. And then ideally, you'd have multiple people on this Notion board. Since I'm the only one, we'll just add myself. And now we have a person in charge. Now, let's talk about probably the most robust feature, which is the database relations. So we're going to add another property, and we're going to come down here to relation. Now, relations, I have another database that I've made up here called Gear. And I'll show you that here in a little bit. So the database is related to gear. We have no limit. We want it to show on gear, and we want to add the relation. Perfect. Now we know what gear is available. So we can click on gear, and we have tripod, camera, microphone. And I'll show you where these are located right now. So over here, I have this gear database. Click here, and I have camera, tripod, microphone. And they all have their ID numbers, and they have their check-in status. And I have these button properties, so I can check it out if I want. And then that changes that to checked out. Check out. That's checked out. I can check them back in as well. Nice and cool. It can show when it was last edited, who was last edited by. So check in and out time, check out and in time. And then here's our content calendar property. So if we come back to our content calendar, for the YouTube video, let's say we need the tripod and the camera. And then for the Facebook post, we need the microphone. If we come back to our gear database, we'll see that those now show up here. This is going to get used on the YouTube video and the Facebook post. Now, this might not be particularly helpful view, right? Table might be good if you're a manager and you're looking at things as they are, and you want to kind of see how things are going on a general sense. But let's say, obviously, content calendar, you want a calendar, or maybe you want a Kanban board, or maybe you want a Gantt chart. You can do that. Just come over here, click the plus sign, come over to the right, and you'll be met with 6 different views here: table, board, timeline, calendar, list, and gallery. A board is a Kanban board. If you're not familiar with what a Kanban board is, if you've ever used Trello, that's a Kanban board. So we'll click here, and you'll see that this has defaulted to the person tag, right? The person property, PIC. Now, this might be a good view. If you want to see who's been assigned to what project, you can do that. And we can even rename this to PIC. And now we can see who all is in charge of what posts. Now, maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want something else. So you want a different Kanban board style. What you can do is, after you've created your board, you can come over here, group by. And then what we can do is we can click group by, and we can choose which property to go by. So we can do, for example, tags, and we can have a manual sort, color columns, and there we go. Now what we can do is, with our tags, we can add new tags like not started, or we can add research. As things are going, let's say I'm researching the YouTube video. So I'll move that over to research. Now, if I go over to my table view, I can see, oh, okay, cool. So they've started research on the YouTube video, and they haven't started on the Facebook post. Maybe that's concerning. Maybe then I can reach out. Oh, I see Sam's in charge of that. I can reach out to Sam. Hey, why haven't you started out with the Facebook post? As a manager, super helpful. Now, let's say you also want another view that's a Gantt chart, right? Timeline style. And what's cool about this is you can actually take this and you can actually make this a relationship item. So you can turn on dependencies. And now, if you click into these, you can see, oh, it's blocking Facebook post. And Facebook post is blocked by YouTube video. So I know that if I want to start working on Facebook post, I can't do that until YouTube video is done. And if I increase the time length here, then it'll shift Facebook post over. If I move this, and if I move this, and then it'll do all this stuff for us. And let's say maybe, oh, well, no, we don't need to have the YouTube video done beforehand. Just click the X, the relationship is moved. There's 2 more useful views. There's a calendar view, which is, it's self-explanatory. It's a calendar. And then finally, go ahead and add a gallery view. Now, gallery view is going to give you kind of more like a mood board situation, which is kind of cool. You can come in here and you can add a cover, for example, and let's do YouTube. Boom. Now, if we come over here to the 3 dots right here next to new, we come down here, we click layout gallery, we can choose card preview, we can choose page cover. Now those images will show up right here. Now we get to have a bit more of a feel of, okay, what is the mood, the vibe, the energy? You know, if that's important to your team, you can do that. Let's say we want to get a bit more detailed on these. So let's come into YouTube video. If you click right here, it'll open it up on the side. Let's say we want to add another database inside of this project. You can do that. We can add a database. And for this one, we're going to add an inline database. And let's say we want a shot list, right? And let's say we want another database called, let's see here, we'll do inline database, actors, all right? Let's say we have those two things. And then let's say, you know what? I really like how this is developed. I don't really want to have to recreate this every single time I want to make a YouTube video. What we can do is we can come over here. We can copy all of these items. I'll just hit Control X, create a template, come down here, Control V, post it all there, call this, just give this a blank title, YouTube video. And let's say you have somebody who's always in charge of YouTube videos. You can choose that. For a YouTube video, you always need the tripod and you always need the camera. Then you can do that. And then you can click back. Now, you'll see here, if I click new and I type in YouTube video 2, I click open, I come over here, I'm now met with the option to create a YouTube video. I can click that. It gives me my gear that I'm going to need. And then as this loads, it'll eventually pop up with the databases, shot list, actors. Now I know everything that I have everything ready. So anytime I go to make a YouTube video, I can easily get right to work. I don't have to spend time setting up the idea. The idea is already set up. I can just focus on getting the work done. So is Notion worth it? In my professional opinion, absolutely. Not only does it make getting organized across your team super easy, but the rich feature list means that you can set it up to be exactly what you want it to be for your organization. And the fact that it scales so nicely means that you can use it whether you're a one-man show or a massive content production studio. It has the ability to grow with you and position itself as a longtime partner for your company. Just like by watching this video here, you'll be positioned to handle the changes that many social media platforms are making to an ad-free subscription, effectively killing paid advertising strategies on social media. So click this link here, and I'll see you over there.